Appoggio is ancient Italian for, I'm oversimplifying here, but great respiration techniques in your singing. When you have great appoggio in your singing, you have great respiration. Appoggio is broken up into 4 components in TVS, and those 4 components are as follows. Number 1, engage the open throat tongue position. Okay, review your 2 tongue positions lecture to get more details on that, but you need to get your tongue into this position. Okay, in a way, what I'm saying is, if you get your tongue into the open throat tongue position, for some reason, it tends to kind of trigger better respiration. It makes your body blow more wind, and that's super important. Number 2, to train great appoggio, you need extrinsic anchoring. Take your dominant leg, and sit back here and sit into the phonation. Don't tip like this. Get into this particular position right here where you're centering your gravity, which we call extrinsic anchoring. And extrinsic anchoring is going to be really important to help you support the 3rd component of great appoggio, and that is engagement of the intercostals. You need to engage the intercostals. The intercostals are a set of muscles down here around your hip that are similar to the muscles that you use when you make a bowel movement. Number 2, okay? Not quite the same, but it's very similar. When we engage the intercostals, we tend to kind of push down and out. You see this as well in the overlay distortion workflow. Hey! Hey! Okay, if I move a little closer, you'll see my tongue is in the open throat tongue position, and I'm pushing down and out and engaging the intercostals. And maintaining an extrinsic anchored position. And the 3rd technical component for training appoggio that you can clearly hear is wind and release onsets are favorable. Now, that is to say, if you train your appoggio or your respiration support and strength with a wind and release onset, it tends to get the body blowing air. Okay, so if you watch your 7 specialized onsets video, you'll be reminded that one of the benefits of training wind and release onsets is it gets your respiration game on. Okay, one of the reasons why we have to get great appoggio coordination and skills together is we need the respiratory system to support the phonation package all the time, really, but even more so when we're singing high notes. Because if you review the content in the 4 pillars of singing and you review the video, the vibratory mechanism versus the respiratory system, and read that essay, the point that I'm trying to make in all of that is that the higher we go in frequency, the higher the note you sing, the more the body kind of wants to torque the twanger, the more it wants to squeeze the twanger, and that makes you fatigued and makes you sound like a duck. It's not preferred. So what we need to do is get about a 10 to 20% respiratory bleed or respiratory escape. Relax or open the glottis just a little bit. When singing high notes, when you're feeling fatigued and sounding like a duck, a little bit too quacky, you're going to relax the vocal folds about 10 to 20% and then regain that 20% energy loss that you experienced by relaxing the glottis from engaging the respiratory system. Get 20% more energy from increasing the subglottal phonation threshold pressure. Now, that's one of the reasons why appoggio is so darn important, is without good appoggio techniques, you're not going to be able to balance the subglottal phonation threshold pressure against and with the measurement of compression of the vocal folds. Okay? when you're singing high notes, you don't want to get fatigued and sound like a duck. You got to relax the vocal folds a little bit, let a little bit of respiration blow through. That means you need good respiration techniques. You got to push down and out, have extrinsic anchoring, go for an open throat tongue position, and if you can, if the lyrics and the text enable you to, go for a wind and release onset, and then you'll get great respiration, great appoggio, and you'll be able to balance the subglottal pressure with the compression of vocal twang, and your phonations will sound absolutely fantastic. You'll be free, you won't sound like a duck, you won't be constricting, and you'll be able to sing high notes and continue to go up, up, and up. That's what appoggio is. That's why it's important. That's how you train it, and make it a priority early on in your training. You've got two major energy systems here. The vibratory mechanism, learning to twang and manipulate and command and control the musculature in this region, and the respiratory system and getting your appoggio techniques and skills trained and muscle memorized.